Hi, my name is Mashantha and welcome to my YouTube channel. I usually talk about beauty, but in 2024, my focus this year is to be on this journey of self-improvement. I do want to level up my life in 2024. So if you're interested in learning about how I plan to do that, what my goals are, the systems I'm setting up in place to actually help me achieve those goals, then I think this is the video for you. I have structured my annual goals across different dimensions of life. A good place to start is something called the Artist of Life, which is a good way to stock check where you are and how you would rate or rank your life from worst to best across around 9 different dimensions. I have reduced that to, I would say, 4 or 5. First is health, second is professional, third is personal, fourth is relationships, and fifth is financial. And I'm going to list down the goals that I have under each of these dimensions. My primary focus is health, and what that means is, irrespective of whether I achieve or don't achieve the goals in other parts of my life, for me it's paramount that I achieve the goals on the health side. So within health, I have two categories of metrics or goals: input metrics, and second is output metrics. Now, output metrics are the final result of whatever you're achieving. For example, if there's a weight loss goal, how much weight you're actually going to lose. Input metrics are related to the habits and systems or the inputs you're going to put in to make sure that you are actually leading to that output. So the input metric in this case could be to follow a sugar-free diet. Key output metrics that I have are three. I do want to become an autoimmune condition free person. I was diagnosed with eczema/psoriasis around early last year, and it has literally been the bane of my existence, and it has really destroyed the quality of my life. The second output metric that I have is to reach a healthy BMI for my age and height. I'm significantly overweight. You could say obese for my age and height, and so I will have to lose at least 30 to 35 kgs to reach this goal. The third one is a bit of a stretch goal, and I'm okay if it happens or doesn't happen this year, but I signed up for Insight Tracker, and based on your blood work, they tell you what your biological age is, and it's significantly older than my chronological age. My biological age to be the same as my chronological age. I do think this is a derivative goal in the sense that if I crack 1 and 2, the autoimmune condition free and the healthy BMI, I do think I will be able to crack this one. I do have a bunch of input metrics or systems that I'm trying to set in place to make these goals a reality. It's a bit of a list, so let me start. One is I do want to make moving my body or exercising daily a natural habit of mine. I have a separate Instagram channel where I do document my daily exercise routine, so if you're interested, you can go check that. So I will be happy if I still end up moving 5 out of 7 days a week the entire year. Following a gluten-free and a dairy-free diet, this is to solve for my eczema or psoriasis condition. So that's something that's going to be very difficult for me, especially because I'm vegetarian as well. Third is I want to journal and reflect actively. In the last quarter of 2023, when I started it, I thought it did wonders for my mental health and emotional stability. So I do want to make this an active practice and an important part of my routine this year. I do want to do 75 hard at least once in 2024. I'm unsure about timing in terms of when I'll do it. If you're not familiar with 75 hard, it's basically 75 days of following a 6 practice protocol. I'll include like an insert there. It's really cool, and if that's something that you're interested in watching me attempt, then please let me know. I might just document that as well. But I really want to minimize travel. I'm so aware and grateful for the opportunities last year, but I traveled a lot. Like, I kept traveling a lot, and with that comes a lot of disruption to routine, a lot of disruption to diets, especially when I'm vegetarian. My husband's not very happy about this, but this is something that I need to do for my health. I think I'll keep doing a check-in on a monthly basis, so it would be interesting to see how each of these goals play out. My professional/social media goals. I do want to double down on social media a lot this year. In case you don't know, I've worked in the corporate world for 10 years now. It's pretty much been my defining characteristic the past 10 years. I have been a very unidimensional person. I've put a lot of my creative interests on hold just because I was so focused on work and excelling at work. Now I do want to slow down on that. Maybe take a break as well if I need to, and just focus on things that fill my cup, which are more the creative interests and the passions that I have. I recognize that you have to be in a position of privilege to even be able to consider that option, and I'm very grateful to be able to do that. Let's break this down into specific hard numbers. That's really important because for me, all of my goals need to be smart, they need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be action oriented, they need to be result oriented, and they need to be time bound from an output metric standpoint. So on LinkedIn, I would love to hit 25,000 followers by end of 24. On YouTube, I do want to become monetized. To become monetized, I basically need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. The third professional goal that I have is to basically diversify my income sources. Traditionally, my entire source of income has been my corporate job, but I definitely want to explore more interesting ways to go beyond that. Now moving on to personal goals. Now I want to get my driver's license, and this is so embarrassing for me to admit online, but I am in my 30s and I've never learned driving, and I think it's high time I start, so that's an important goal for me. Second, I love reading. I want to read 52 books, so let's make that happen. So I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, so I do want to lock in 100 practice sessions this year and 36 choreographies. So 36 choreographies, 3 choreographies a month, 100 practice sessions, 1 in 3 days. So let's see. I've learned Carnatic music for 10 plus years. I keep humming at home, but I'm very shy about singing in public, so most people don't know that I sing. But I just miss Carnatic music. I don't know if it's something about leaving India, but I just really miss Carnatic music, and I think it's a good time for me to kind of go back into that craft and just practice. So in terms of singing, I want to like practice twice a week, which translates to around 104 sessions in a year. Cooking. I learned to cook during COVID. I realized I was very good at it, but I really don't enjoy it as much because I'm not efficient. So it takes a lot of time from my day. So I do want to cook at least 24 times in this year, which translates to twice a month, which is like once in 2 weeks. And I think that should be doable. Like any dish, I just want to cook any dish once in 2 weeks, 24 times in 2024. Wow, that I didn't expect that, but there's some sort of symmetry and poetry to that. Podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen to it all the time when I'm doing any chores, when I'm walking, when I'm cleaning, anything. And so I want to do 100 podcast episodes in 2024. That's really doable for me given the habits that I have already. But what I want to do with this is to make sure I summarize and synthesize the podcast well as well. So, you know, sometimes what happens is you just listen to podcasts and you forget about it, right? So I do want to make sure I kind of create a second brain system around it so I can always refer to that podcast in the future. I used to love writing. One of my bucket list goals is to become a published author, and I really want to go back to writing this year. This is more like an input goal, is that I just want to write 1 hour for 1 hour every day. Now this writing can be a LinkedIn post, it can be a book review, a K-drama review, any kind of writing just for 1 hour every day. I know it's super ambitious, there are like so many different interests, but that's the kind of person I am. I have all of these interests and I have all of these things that I want to do, and like I said, I've pretty much let work dominate my life the past 10 years, wherein I only work. So I really want to seize 2024 as the year that I get to do these things. In terms of relationships, I think they're very simple. I'm very blessed, very fortunate to have some really great people in my life, my family, my friends. I'm like so lucky, so fortunate. But I do want to be more structured and intentional with those relationships. So I want to start having monthly check-ins with my husband. He hates that idea, so it's gonna take some time for me to convince him to do that. But I've done it once or twice with him, and it's so helpful because feedback session that you have with your partner, I mean, you tell them what's going well, what's not going well, what they can do to improve. They can do the same. You guys can articulate your expectations from each other, the goals that you have, and it's just so helpful because you don't realize, even if you live together, sometimes there's so many things that just go unsaid, and so many things that you either take for granted or don't ever realize till somebody says that out to you. I need to stay in better touch with my parents and my grandmom and my aunt, my chitti. I am pretty shitty at staying in touch. Like, I only WhatsApp them, I hardly call them ever, and I don't even live in the same country. The saving grace is I visit them. I travel to India almost every 2-3 months to see them, so that's good. but I need to be a better daughter, let's be real. So yeah, I need to like be more active in terms of calling them. Now the final category is financial, and for obvious reasons I won't be able to be very specific about these goals, but I do want to talk about some of my intentions when it comes to the financial side of my life. I do want to be extremely intentional in what I spend my money on. Sometimes when you're super busy and super tired, you just do things unintentionally, like for entertainment without thinking too much. But I want to do the complete opposite of that. Wish list and wait for any kind of purchase. Even a book, like I love books. I think of a book, I find it, I add to cart and I buy it. Like even then, like I don't even think when it comes to books. But you know, stuff like books, definitely things like beauty, even things like Amazon random stuff, right? I do want to be very, very intentional, wish list it, think about it for a while, at least 3-4 weeks before I actually buy. Like that's something I really want to do. Be very strategic about my purchases. Like I want to wait for a sale, right? Cluster my purchases around Black Friday for beauty, for example. Experiences over material things, and that really reduces a lot of the distraction for me in my life. So what I mean by that is I would love to go to a concert versus buying a very expensive dress or a very expensive bag. Hi, today's another day, clearly, and I had to shoot it because I realized I lost the last bit of the footage from the other day. So here I am filming the outro, and those were my 2024 annual goals. Of course, these annual goals will get broken down into quarterly goals and monthly goals, and the plan currently is that I come in here every month and do a bit of a check-in and a reset to see how we've done in that month versus the goals that I set out to achieve. So if that sounds interesting, if you want to follow along with me in terms of how I make 2024 my best year yet, please continue watching, consider liking, commenting and subscribing to this channel. And of course, I would love to know what your 2024 goals are. So please let me know in the comments below, and let's cheer each other on to make sure we all make 2024 our best year yet. I'll see you around. Bye.